sits on a smoke cloud, thinking out loud, trying to be strong.
Hey,
Oh, hello, hello.
peace and blessings, Queen. How are you?
Yes, peace and blessings to you as well. I am very well. Very well.
Amen.
How you're here in New York,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Yep, yep.
Yeah, how you doing with all the snow that we've been getting all of a sudden?
I'm fine because we inside anyway, so it ain't like we outside
Yes.
having to travel to work or be on the move and on the scene. We stuck in the crib anyway, so just looking out the window like, ooh, that looks nice.
That is true. We needed it. We needed
Yeah, yeah, it's all
it.
good. It looks really
Oh
nice
my
and
gosh, so
white outside.
white. Yeah, I know. Well, again, it looks beautiful from the inside.
Correct, correct, correct.
So, welcome to the bigger picture. I can't believe that I have multi-platinum Amadeus sitting in front of me that I get to chat it up with today. I feel so blessed.
I feel
Seriously,
blessed. I feel
seriously.
blessed. We feel blessed together. I'm honored to be here. You've been doing amazing things, and it's all about the bigger picture. You know what I mean? So we
Yep.
here. We here.
Now, I mean, I have done a lot of research, and even before the research, I mean, you and I, we're around the same
Absolutely.
age. So I have been a fan of your work. I have a lot of respect for your work.
Wow. Thank
And
you.
I know your story. And I know that, you have been a musician pretty much your whole life since a child.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so I'm going to have you tell those watching a bit about the background. I know it, but
Right.
I want you to tell the story. And then I have a question for you for it.
Okay.
Okay?
Awesome. Awesome. First off, thank you for everyone that's tuned in. Thank you for joining us, for this bigger picture conversation. As the Queen announced, my name is Amadeus. I am a multi-platinum bad boy hitman producer, blessed to produce for over 100 major artists, to name a few: J-Lo, French Montana, Wiz Khalifa, Little Mo, Tyga, Chris Brown, Trey Songz, CeeLo Green, Remy Ma, Papoose, Fabulous, Davies, Young and May, ESPN,
Stop!
Sprite, BET, VH1, MTV. Also, Trey Songz is music director, tour drummer for the last 14 years. Dre's nightclub, #1 hip hop nightclub in Las Vegas, resident drummer. I gotta say all of that stuff. So when you hear the story and you hear what it took to get to that point, there's a level of respect and appreciation and admiration for what I had to endure in
Yeah,
order to be able to say all of
respect.
those things
Respect.
that I've mentioned. So to the story, born and raised in the Boogie Down Bronx, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Proud Bronx King, 169 Washington Avenue to be exact. My block is called the Nine. And just kind of just to skim through the story. Fourth grade, I was able to learn a musical instrument.
Mhm.
Musical instrument was drums. Shout out to both of my parents, mother and my mama and my father, who sacrificed and sent me and my siblings
Yeah.
to Catholic school, which is why I was able to learn a musical instrument. So I'm grateful for that. That instrument was drums. Never touched drums a day in my life. Never had any dreams or desires or aspirations to be a musician. I just loved music. I just loved hip hop, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I get
Hmm.
into the classroom that day. The teacher is like, I'm going to play a pattern. I'm going to go around the room to see who else can play the pattern, right? He did that,
Right.
went around the room. Every beat pattern that he played, I was able to play. And it was kind of a like aha moment because, again, I never touched drums, never any instrument. And he's like, have you ever played drums before? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, I guess this is a, God-given gift and talent that you have that we have awakened. And that was the moment. And for me, even though I was able to do it, I still didn't have any love or passion
Hmm.
for it. I think what excited me, and you're going to laugh about this, is the fact that everyone in the classroom was amazed,
Hmm.
especially the young ladies, which I was excited about. So the fact that all of the girls was like fans and like excited to see what I was doing on the drums, that's what it was for me. um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Later
Well, hey,
on,
whatever is going to inspire you, right? Whatever's going to keep you motivated.
hey man, I'm gonna tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, man. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
that's what excited me. Fast forward, my mom, took me to a different church, and in this
Hmm.
church, it was a woman pastor who was amazing at the time, and
Hmm.
there was just a church filled with young people, and I've never seen that part. You know, it's always young people in church, like growing up, but we would be falling asleep, would be kind of like tuned out, not really pay attention. But
Yeah.
everybody at this church was involved. You know, whether it was the
Okay.
choir, whether it was the band, everybody was involved, and I liked that. But
Hmm.
it was a black king that looked like me that was on
Hmm.
the drums. And me being
Hmm.
from where I'm from, I never seen that before. Everybody that the drum teacher showed me, didn't look
Hmm.
like me. And I know you know what I
They
mean
look,
when it didn't look like
yeah,
me.
yeah,
So it really wasn't appealing to a young kid from the hood. But when I seen someone that looked like me, play the drums the way they did, it just got my
right,
full undivided attention. And it was like an aha moment, like, yo, if I apply myself, if I practice, if I take this seriously, maybe one day I can sound like that. And that was
right,
the moment when I really truly fell in love with drums and the instrument. And shout out to the one and only my bishop, my pastor, Pastor Michelle White,
mhm,
rest in peace to her, who opened up that door for me as a musician. I remember walking into her
right.
office and wanting to be the drummer at the church. And she's like, well, you can't be the drummer at the church because my son, shout out to my brother Soup, is the drummer already. So I have a drummer ready. I came in there like, no, I want to play drums right now. And she's like,
Right.
no, no, no. We have a drummer, but I'll allow you to be a percussionist, and
Okay.
percussionist is congas and bongos and cowbell and
Right.
chime,
Right. Like a little
everything.
just.
Yes, everything to
Mm-hmm.
accent, to add on, to add color to the music in other areas, right?
Mm,
And she allowed me to
right.
be a musician, and she hired me fully. She put me on payroll, and I was like 15 years old. You know what I mean? So I was
Right. Right.
super excited, and that was where I really developed as a musician. And later, of course, it turned into production because drums and beats had everything to do with production. And then I kind of tied the two in, 15, 16 years
Right.
old, fell in love with it, and, started having those dreams of being successful and touring and performing around the
Now,
world.
what did you start out? What did you start out on? Making beats.
Um, whew, I started out on because me and my big brother Steve Soup White were partners at the time, and he had an Ensoniq. It was an Ensoniq keyboard. That was a workstation which you were able to make and build the beat in the keyboard, right? So you were loading drums, you
Mm-hmm.
were loading all of the sounds and samples and create. So that was the first thing I touched. After that was a Roland XP50, um, which was another, keyboard workstation. And
Right.
shout out to one of the most amazing musicians of all time, Derek Garbo, who was the minister of music at that time at my church, who also went home to be with the Lord. May he rest in peace as well. But he let me
Yes.
take that keyboard home. Would be like showing him how to use his keyboard. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, you know what? You get a young mind wrapped up into something like that. I mean, they're going to break all the rules. You know what I mean? They're just going to go.
right.
And that's what it sounds like you did, you know? And now, oh, as a child, who, what other drummers were there that really influenced you? You know what I mean?
Um, I
Like I'm
listened
talking about, like
again
when I say kid, I mean like as a teenager, as you're like getting older and you know what I
and
mean? What kind of drum
understanding,
skills
right.
and
Um, I loved, and my big bro Steve Sue put me on to Dave Weckles. So Dave Weckles is an extraordinary jazz drummer. So I fell in love with him.
Mhm.
Pause. Dennis Chambers, Vinny Kai. I'm probably gonna tear his last name up. Vinny Cayuta was another drummer that I looked up to. There was some Steve Gadd. There were so many different drummers that were really dope. And you know who really stuck out to me? I didn't really know who he was, but just
Mhm.
realized the funk that he had. And I don't even
Mhm.
remember his name. James Brown's drummer. James
Okay,
Brown's drummer, and I'm
we'll
pissed
have
that
to
I
Google that.
yeah, I gotta look that up so that I can know that king's name because man, you talking about funk? Whew,
Funk, yes,
whew.
yes.
So those are some drummers that I looked up to. But again, the drummers that I witnessed, like Steve Sue White and
Mhm.
Jeff Davis, the church musicians and the drummers that
Mhm.
we looked up to from the church, Gerald
Mhm.
Haywood, you know what I mean, and Jeff Leslie, and just some of the drummers that were from New York that were really
Yes.
dope. So many, man. So many, man. Mike
And that's
Clemens.
cool.
Yeah, it's just I
Mm-hmm.
can go on and on and on. It was just amazing to
Mm-hmm.
see.
Wow. Now, I know that you, as a child, went back and forth. Well, you didn't really need to go back and forth. You made your decision to do drums as opposed to another instrument. Now, because of acts like the Violin that's out right now, they've been kind of like making waves. Do you ever look back and say, man, maybe I could have done the violin? You know what I mean? You ever look back at that and say maybe? I mean, not just. I mean, you're so accomplished in your drums and in your drum making. So I mean,
And
no regrets. But I'm
I love the
saying,
question. I love the question. I don't think I would be where I'm at today if I chose that instrument. And it's no, shot to disrespect to the instrument. I'm just talking about as a producer
Oh,
and
Clyde Stubblefield, my
yes.
partner. He's Clyde
Hey,
Stubblefield.
yes, I gotta memorize that, man. Clyde Stubblefield. Yes, 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 yes. Thanks, partner. Is that Ben? Is that Ben that wrote that?
That's Ben. That's
What's up,
Ben.
Ben? What's up, King? Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't choose the violin, but then I did go with the name Amadeus. So it's like so
I
many, you know what I
know.
mean? It's like, but nah, I felt like I needed the drums. The drums had to be in order for me to be me today, the
Hmm.
drums had to be the foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if I
Yeah.
would have chose violin, what I may be successful in a different area and we may be having
Right.
this conversation, but I think it would be from a different lens. You know what I mean? Like,
Perspective. Yeah. Yeah.
I just think it'll
Right.
be from a different
Well,
lens. Amadeus
what
playing
do
on
you think?
Broadway and like
Yeah.
that type of stuff.
What do you think? What do you think it says though about our culture that it was like without a doubt like no, I didn't want to be seen at the time. Of
Yeah,
course, great, this
yeah.
is a while ago, but still, I didn't want to be seen at the time because people were going to clown you, people were going
Right,
to tease you. It was going to be a
right,
bad look. You
right.
know, what does that say? What do you think that says about our culture, and how far do you think we've come since?
Oh, I love that question. And it might, you know what? I love that question. I just think it might have been more personal,
Mm-hmm.
like really something that was in my head. And
Mm-hmm.
and not even from a negative space, but just like when I thought about that instrument in fourth grade, I didn't see it as a
Mm-hmm.
masculine instrument. And
Right.
obviously,
Right.
that there's a ton of ignorance in that, but we're talking about a kid that's from the hood, that's from the
Mhm.
Bronx,
Exactly.
fourth
Exactly.
grade, that it didn't seem like a masculine instrument to me. So it's like that
Mhm.
part. And then the fact that I already had to dress up to go to school was another thing that
Right.
was annoying. So it's like, okay,
I feel
I,
you on that. I went to Catholic school for two
oh, so
years. I feel you. I
man,
used to try to roll up my
roll up the
skirt so it
skirt.
wasn't so super long.
What school you went to?
I went to St. Mary's. I
Where
went
was
to
that?
St. A place called, it was Catholic. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not in the city. It's not in the
Okay.
city. It's up
Okay.
here in the burbs. It's up here in the
Okay.
burbs. But
Okay.
my parents did the same thing though. They sent me to Catholic school for a few years so that it was just better for me at the time because they didn't want to see me get into trouble.
Right. Same here.
Living in the
Same
neighborhood
here.
we lived in, they sent me out of the area to go to school for a few years to get my act together. And so I understand the whole get up that you had to wear.
Right.
I had to walk through different neighborhoods to get there.
Yep.
And
You already
so
know.
I get
No way.
it.
No way was I gonna have those tight slacks on, those shiny shoes, that shirt and a tie, and then a heart
And
shaped.
then a little while
Like that's just
no,
asking for
no.
it. That's just saying, hey everybody, come beat my ass. That's what that's saying.
I know. But that's so sad though. You know what I mean? That we had to think that way, or that you would even have to think that way. It
Right.
is what it is.
Right.
That's what I mean. That's why I asked you about our culture.
But
You
now
know what I mean? Like,
today,
what do you think
today is a different thing, so I love that you
is
asked that
different?
question because it's something that we can all be proud of in regards to expression and being free for everyone
Yes.
to express themselves how they want to express themselves, whether it's
Yep.
music and instrumentation, whether it's sexuality,
Yep.
whether it's what they
Yep.
decide to be referred to as, we've come a long way, you know what I mean?
Long way.
And and so it just shows so much growth for the world,
Yes. Yes. Now you have worked, as you tried to run down your list in the beginning.
I always forget.
So many artists. Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess the better question is, who haven't you worked with yet?
That's a
Who
good
haven't
question.
you worked with yet that you want to work with?
Right.
More importantly.
Jay-Z is definitely on the top of that list. Now I've toured with Jay-Z, with Trey Songz. We opened up for Jay-Z on the Blueprint 3, so I can kind of include that, but I'm talking about from a production standpoint. So Jay-Z is at the top of my list. Rick Ross, Mario.
Rick Ross.
Huge fan of the R&B artist Mario, man. I just love his tone and voice, and looking forward to possibly working with him. Always been a fan of the gospel group, female group, Mary Mary. Love them to life.
Love Mary Mary.
Kurt Franklin, Lady Gaga's really dope. Usher, Beyonce, usual suspects. You know what I mean? But then you think about a lot of the newer artists that are definitely rocking. The Baby. I like the Baby. I like Little Baby. I like Meg Thee Stallion. So there's a lot of newer artists that are also dope. That's not Migos got my attention. That will be dope to work. Big Sean. So I got a long list of people that I haven't tapped in with, and hopefully that time and opportunity will present itself, and I'm gonna be ready for show.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt. Now,
thank you.
Through the years in the industry, like with any successful person, you've heard the word no a lot. I'm sure, a lot, and sometimes our no's aren't celebrated as much.
Right.
But they are what make us and what take us to where we need to go. Right. Now, what's the biggest no that you've ever encountered in your life? What's the biggest no that almost made you feel like, I don't know, should I keep doing this?
Right.
Have you ever had a moment like that?
I can't say it was a big no that discouraged me. Like one particular situation, I think, and I'll say it like this: as a producer, I feel like we're in our profession, and I'll argue anyone. I feel like we're told no the most, right?
Really?
And I'll explain. I'll explain. In a day, in a good work day for me, I can possibly send out maybe about 5-10 folders of music to various artists. So say that say for instance, folders including, like, I might put like a 15 tracks in a folder and send it to Fab.
Okay, so
and I what's the word I'm looking for? I create each folder or each artist folder separately, meaning I cater it to that artist. So I don't make one folder and send it to everybody. It's like, nah, you might not like that. So I'm going to there it is. That's the word I'm looking for. So I customize it according to the artist. So imagine me sending 10 to 15 artists a folder with 15 to 18 to maybe 20 tracks per folder, right?
Okay.
So if I send that out today, and let's say a month goes by, mind you, I do this on a day-to-day basis, but I'm just choosing one day. So one day, 15 folders, 15 beats in each folder. A month goes by. I haven't heard back from any of those artists. 9 times out of 10, that means, obviously something wasn't chosen from that particular folder, right? So again, that's being told 15 times, 15 to 20 times by 15 different artists on each of every one of those folders that I sent, So think about if I'm doing that on a daily basis. If I'm making 3 folders, 5 folders, 6 folders, let's say if 25, 30, 40 folders is going out a week.
You have to be incredibly confident.
Right.
Incredibly. Your what's the word? Your resolve. It just has to be incredibly strong.
Yes. Because I can get no response on that, right? And that could be, I don't know. Like I said, one day is 15 tracks, 15 hours. We can do the math. Like, like say for instance, if I was told a month, no, 1,000
Oh.
1,500 times. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I say, like, as a producer, we're to me, I feel like we're told the most because we're always pitching tracks and beats and ideas to numerous artists, and if they don't take those tracks, then we got to work, and then send them a new folder in hopes of maybe you picking one
So,
from that folder, you know?
so question: how many times have you had to tell people no? Because you have to, you know what I mean? You gotta. It's not about necessarily who's telling you no. You gotta also tell people no. You know what I mean? Because you can't pull from every cup or every glass or whatever. You know, it's like you have to be able to say, yeah, nah, it's not gonna work.
Right.
And
Go ahead. No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and where in your career were you able to start telling people no? Did you start telling people no right from jump, or
Right,
did you
right.
have to wait a while?
Yeah, and I like how you set that up too, because that's the case where it's like when you're trying to break into anything, whether it's music or whatever you're doing, you got to get your foot in somehow. You got to get your foot in
Hmm.
some way. So sometimes it may not be what you want it to be, or how you would want it to be, or how you would want it to
How
go.
you envisioned
Yeah,
it?
but you got to get in. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to get in, and you got to earn your stripes. You got to pay your dues. You know what I mean? You got to show yourself worthy to be recognized at a certain level and to be paid at a certain level. So it takes time, right? Now, the blessing for me was that my first official placement released was Foxy Brown on the Cradle to the Grave movie and soundtrack.
Oh, forget it. Forget about it. So
You
you
know, so
you making moves from the time you walked in the door.
yo, so now here's the thing though. Here's the thing, Queen. It's like, yes, that was my first placement, and that was monumental and major, right? But
Right.
we got to think about what it took to get there.
Facts.
We got to think about all of the moments of me in the studio, my personal studio at the crib, and making beats. We got to talk about losing friendship because, they wanted to hang
Mm,
out and be cool and do cool young kid stuff. And I'm like, y'all go ahead. I'm going to stay behind
sacrifice.
and work on this
Mm-hmm.
music. So I lost friendships. I've lost, my little young girls, you know what I'm saying? Me dating and having girlfriends and all of that. Like, nah, they want to go to the movies. They want to go bowling. They want to go out on a date. They want to go to eat, not sit there and watch me make beats, all day with my
So wait a
pajamas
minute.
on.
Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. You started playing the drums. Ladies were loving it.
Oh yeah,
But
they were
then you
definitely loving
couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't do anything because you were focused.
it. But here's
Wow.
okay.
So all right.
So here's the other side to that, right? But my
Uh-huh.
my parents, man, to this, and I get on them about it to this day. To me, were some of the biggest haters in the world. Cause they won't let me do nothing, yo.
Oh no.
Yo, they
That's
had the kung fu grip on me I'm talking about as a youngin, and it continued all throughout life. Like I couldn't go nowhere. The only place I can go was church and school. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Thank God, I was in an all boys high school, so that sucked. So I had to really enjoy myself at the train station, at the bus stops, on the way to then from school, because it was the only place where the girls would reside. And then thank God that the Lord had it so that the women was at a plethora, at the church. So God was
Plethora.
good. God was there's always women at the church now. There's always women at the church. So thank the heavenly Lord that, he ushered in the women at church. Because my parents, man, they won't let me go nowhere, yo.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's pretty funny.
Yo,
Now,
man. Look, it's funny
all
now.
these years in the industry, I all these years in the industry, I hear you speak of your parents, right? I hear you speak of your parents. So I know that they already must be a grounding force in your life. I
Absolutely.
can tell that spirit, that God is a grounding force in your life. I can tell just by your words, um, and your actions, of course.
Thank you.
Now, is there something that you do to remain grounded in this industry? Is there anything that you do?
I just think it's all of the teachings. You know what I mean? It's all of the teachings and how I was raised. And like you said, how I was taught by, of course, both my parents, with the kung fu grip, but they wanted more for me. They wanted the best for me. And as a kid, when they saying no, you can't go out and hang out, or you can't go in front of the
Oh.
building, or you can't go stand on the corner, like you don't understand that. You just kind of want to be cool, just like everybody else, or what you think is cool. You know what I mean? But not knowing that those decisions saved my life. Those decisions made me focus on me
Mm-hmm.
becoming who I am today. So, I'm grateful for them. And then, like I said, my pastor, my bishop, one of
Mm-hmm.
the most amazing beings that God has placed in this entire world, man. And she just really molded and shaped me as a being, as a man, as a king. You know what I mean? Of really showing how to be a man. Even though she was a woman, she was
Mm-hmm.
able, from a woman's point of view, teach us how we should be as men and what, they look
Oh,
for, what you can you hear me?
I can't. You're breaking up on me a little bit.
You can,
Like
check
it's
check
been
one, two.
breaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
It's like freezing. It's freezing.
uh Goddamn
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and snow and all that stuff is going on out there. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
That's okay. It's not your fault.
Am I coming through okay now, better, or
Yeah, I think you're coming through okay right now.
okay?
You seem to be
But
okay.
okay. But yeah, my pastor, man, just amazing, just amazing, and just really instilled so much in me from a musicianship side, but then
Yeah.
also, like I said, as a man. So yeah, I know that my gift comes from God, and I know He blessed me with this gift, and I know that in any moment it could be taken away. You know what I mean? So I always want to carry myself a certain way. I always want to show love and respect to everyone. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And that's what it's supposed to be. So as long as I have breath in my body, I'm gonna
mm,
always remain this humble being, because just like God gave it to me, man, He can take it away, and it's not about me being that way fearing that I can lose it all. It's just cool to be. Like, it just feels good to be a good person. Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
So I don't want people to think I'm just saying, oh, I'm like this way so that I could remain successful or remain blessed. It's like, nah, I just want to be a good person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're a good
Mm-hmm.
person, man, it's just a blessing, not just for me, but for others, and you get
It
that
comes
back in
through.
return. Yeah.
It comes through. I see it. I see how you move. I see how you interact with your supporters, with your audience. I see how even in interviews, I've just watched the way, just the way you interact with people. You are a very positive person, you know what I mean? And it ripples out into all your relationships and work and personal, I'm sure. So,
Yes.
you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Which producers influenced you, if any? Who did you listen
So
to?
so many. So many. Man, growing up, Puff Daddy and the Hitman was my favorites. That
Of
was a
course,
dream
of
of
course.
mine to become a part of that. Dr. Dre, uh, Rodney Jerkins, Neptunes, Kanye, Just Blaze, um, so many, man. Um,
Classic.
yeah, I can go Swiss, Timberland, so many,
Mm-hmm.
man, of people that just were really, really, really dope. Jay Dilla,
Oh,
hmm
Jay.
um,
Yes.
Q-Tip, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
Shaheed
Q-tip.
from Tribe Called Quest. So, Quincy Jones, like I can
Oh,
name
Quincy
so
Jones.
many
He's
that has paved the way. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he was brilliant. It's
absolutely.
brilliant. It's brilliant. Now, I mean, golden era of hip hop. You just went through like the whole
And it's so
golden
many,
era.
it's so many I probably missed too, but it's like hard, like remembering and naming everybody, you know what I mean? Because there's so many. Lil
Right.
Jon, like there's so many. Jermaine Dupri, like
Jermaine Dupri. Yes.
Brian
Yes.
Cox. There's so many. Like we can go. We can do this all day.
So,
Missy Elliott, like
oh, Missy Elliott. I mean, she was always so innovative. I mean, she came out of the box like that. So now with from the golden era until now, technologically, especially for instance, streaming. So many things have changed. You know what I mean? We didn't have streaming. We didn't have
right,
any of that back in the
none of
day.
that. The internet, nothing.
So none of it. None of it. So the hustle, the game has changed. And how has that affected your business?
Pros and cons, you know,
Pros and
just
cons.
anything in business, you know, it's pros and cons. When things
Sorry about
change
that.
or no worries, or we evolve, you know, it's good things about it and it's not so good things about it, you know.
Mhm.
I think to kind of like go back to where it started for me, I think the moment Pro Tools came about was like
Mm.
cool and dope, but then for
But
producers, we was like, this ain't it. Because you would have moments where like an artist would pick a beat and they would buy the beat and they would go into the studio and they would work on it, right? Now when
they take
Pro
the
Tools
stems
came,
and they mash it
Pro
up like a
Tools
snow
came
globe.
about, yo, when Pro Tools came, it was like, all right, we like this beat. Let me see how I do with it first. Let me see how it goes,
Hmm.
and then we'll see if I'm going to buy the beat. You know what I mean? And that was kind of a way where it's like, bruh, now
Yeah.
people are like, now, like people are having rehearsal on your beats. You know, not now
No
that
good.
Pro Tools is here.
No good.
Hold on one second, Princess. The thing is on the TV out here. You gotta turn that off. One, two. Are you on Roblox? Huh? No, don't go on Roblox because I think the Roblox slows down the internet. But turn it on. Dad life.
Aw, how old?
She's 8. I almost said 7. I would have gotten in trouble for saying that.
Yes,
She's
you would
8,
have. I have
and
9-year-olds, so I understand.
my son is online right now watching live right now. Shout out to my Prince. My Prince AJ is on here right now, tapped
Oh,
in,
he's
and
watching
he's
what?
15. Yeah, he's on live watching right
Oh,
now. Yeah,
oh,
my
is
son
he?
AJ. Yep, he's on. My Prince. I love you, son.
Hi. Hey. Thank you for tuning into the bigger picture.
Word. He said, I'm gonna watch you, Dad. I'm gonna watch you.
Thank
I'm
you for
not eating
sharing
your
your
penny.
dad with me and all the viewers. But now there have been countless producers, artists that have come and gone over these almost 20 years.
Right.
What was the biggest mistake that you saw someone make that ended their career?
Dope question. Um, sometimes, and for some of them, it wasn't even about them doing something to end their career. It was just like maybe the love wasn't there anymore for it, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they got comfortable due to the success of maybe a song that they produced. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people have different reasons, or you know, their why is different in regards to why they do this. You know what I'm saying? And for me, out the gate, it was always love and passion for me. Like I didn't know that this could be a career for me. I didn't know that. I just did it because I loved it. And as I went
Right.
on, it was like, no, you can really do this and take this seriously and become a career and like, provide for you and your family and kids. And I'm like, oh, all right,
Right.
cool. That's what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just think it's about, some get comfortable. Some have a
Okay.
level of success and then kind of want to bask in the
It's
ambience
like,
of that
okay, that's it.
success, which is cool. You do want to celebrate monumental moments and everything like that. But, there's always something more to do. There's always more work to be done. There's always so much more to accomplish. So it's like, why stop there? Why not outdo yourself or outdo that last song that you made? So it could be
Right.
from that lens. It could be from a lens of business. Maybe they didn't handle the business right. Maybe they didn't have the right team around them, whether it's lawyers, whether it's managers, and they were done dirty, and were robbed and lost out on millions of dollars, and then just kind of from that experience wanted to walk away from the game. Besides and having to end up going to jail, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Right.
different. It's different. It's different reasons. It's different reasons, and just to be transparent, I've had moments where I'm like, do I want to do this anymore? Or, is
Mm-hmm.
this where I want to be? And it's never the music that, discourages you. The music is what drives you and what keeps you going. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
The
I think
love. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I think the business and the politics of the business can become discouraging, at different
Mm-hmm.
times, when you have great music and when you have greatness to offer and people are not tapping into you, they want to tap into a specific artist or producer or crew or team based off of their popularity or based off of their success with other records, and just kind of everybody want to go over there, but not realizing that there's so many talented people in the world that are very talented that just want to make music that don't get the opportunity to do so based off of politics. So there's a bunch of different things that go into that play a part in that.
That play a part in that, yeah. So your longevity, what do you think sets you apart?
My
What
hustle.
do you think that you
My hustle. Like my work ethic is for anyone that know me, like it's really hard to, and I'm not saying it from a braggadocious spirit. It's just facts. Like it's very hard to outwork me. Like, you know what I mean? It's very hard to outwork me when you think about the amount of placements that I've placed, the records that are out. And then when you think about, no, I don't have no manager. Nah, there's not no team around me. It's just me. Like, that's making all of this happen on my own. And when you think of that and you're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. So if I can do this on my own, imagine what it would be like if the proper team, or I was surrounded by the proper team, you know what I mean? And the right representation, which I'm working on right now. I've done it myself for so long that it's hard for
I
me
don't
to.
see any grays.
What?
How do you not have any grays? You've done all this by yourself.
750, 638.
I don't see any gray.
Oh no, all this right here is great. All of that right there. Thank you. I appreciate the love.
I don't see none. I don't see. I'm looking and I don't see nothing.
Oh, it's there. It's there. It is there. And I'm not even ashamed, man. I'm not even ashamed. I'm grateful.
Well, whatever grades you have, you've earned them. You know what I'm saying? Like your stripes that you earn in the industry.
All this right here. All this right here. Look at these little salt and pepper in there. It's salt and pepper in there. Trust me, it's there.
Oh my.
It's
now,
there, man.
I have watched countless interviews over the years with you.
Wow.
Can you share with me a funny story, an exclusive funny story? I don't want to hear a story that you've already told somebody else.
Right, because you was on top of your game.
I would like to hear a funny story, just like maybe something that happened backstage, something that happened on the road. You know what I mean?
Gotta give you one never heard. I gotta go into the, gotta go into the vault
into the
here.
memory bank.
Man. Okay, I never fell off the drums, thank God.
Thank God for
I'm trying to think.
Anybody ever fall off stage?
Well, Trey
anybody? I don't know.
Trey did fall off stage.
He did? He fell off the stage?
Trey did fall off stage one time, and it was epic because we were on tour. We were in Baltimore, and we were playing the band out the intro to the show, and your boy was mega hyped and came running out and slipped right off. He didn't hurt himself enough.
No.
Because he's like, anyone knows Trey, he's super athletic. So he didn't like hurt himself. but he definitely went flying off. And we thought it was a part of like the joint. We were like, oh, that's up. Trey did some like new jump off the stage joint. All right, cool. I'm looking over the drums like, are we like to keep the song going? Like, what? And the band is looking at me like,
oh my gosh.
Keep playing.
Oh my gosh.
Whenever he returns, maybe we'll start it over. We'll see what the vibe is. I don't know, but that's happened. Funny. I'll tell you a time when I kind of got in trouble.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
We was in Atlantic City. Atlantic City performing, and Kevin Hart was there, and he kind of surprised. He was, he didn't let Trey know that he was there, and so Trey's performing, and he's doing his thing, and Kev starts coming out like, like dancing and sliding his way in, and I'm laughing, and the band's laughing. The audience is like bugging out, and Trey's just is singing and has no idea. And then Kev just rolls up to him, and then he's like,
Oh no.
yo. In that moment, it was cool, and it worked out. Trey was livid, yo.
Oh.
He was livid because, one, I'm the music director, and I have a microphone that he can hear, and that the band and everyone that's working the show hears from me giving out direction and orders and different things. So he was upset that I didn't let him know that Kev was walking out on stage.
Oh, you didn't give him the heads up.
Yeah, and it's never happened before. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm thinking you were in on the joke. You know what I mean? So I didn't know. I didn't know to do that. So yeah, it was a moment, man. Like, soon as that show was over, they was like, "Trey, went you in the dressing room."
Oh,
and I didn't know
no.
it was like an issue. I just was like, all right, cool. I'm thinking like, yo, the show is fire. Like, he was like, bro. Like, so Kevin Hart coming out there, man. You ain't telling me he was coming out. I was like, oh, my bad, G. So that was a moment.
That sounds like a moment. That sounds like you just want to kind of like shrink into your clothes moment.
That was a moment. And and that's one thing that people don't, I wanted to tell that, purposely, because people see things, you see shows, you see productions, you hear songs, but you don't know what goes into it to make it successful and make it great, and the parts that people play in order for it to come off in a great way. You know what I mean? So the amount of times that I've gotten,
it's like the Wizard of Oz. You can't see the person.
The amount of times that I've gotten scolded and yelled at, throughout the years, it's epic. But that comes with the territory. No one is perfect, and we all, obviously, work towards figuring out on a day-to-day basis, and we're all working towards perfection, and everyone wants perfection, everyone wants excellence. You can never be mad at that. You never can be mad at someone wanting the best out of you and out of them, and wanting you to push them, to be the best. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Now, and you talk about performing and such. What's the biggest arena that you've performed for?
Man, in New York.
Yeah.
In New York, I'm a New York Giants fan. So in
Nice.
New York, it's monumental.
You have to be. You're a New Yorker. You're a true New Yorker. You can't be. You're
not
a Buffalo
man.
Bills fan. You're not a. Nah. You got to be a Giants fan. That's it.
I don't know, man. I think that'll be a good argument, because some are Jets fans, some are Buffalo fans.
No. I grew up in a Giants household. Period. End of story.
Right.
Like, yeah, my dad's not having it. I don't care. After all these years, my dad is still a Giants fan. He does not play. And he would disown me. He would disown me if I said any other team.
Yo, real tough. It's real in the field, man.
It is.
So yeah, so to be in New York City, that was a moment. And we played that arena, I think, about 4 or 5 times for Summer Jam with Trey. And I think it holds about 50 to 55,000 people. So that was monumental. Not the biggest venue, but monumentals. I gotta say Madison Square Garden, because me growing up in New York, and that being one of the places that I've always wanted to perform in as a young kid from New York and from the Bronx, to be able to perform that arena is epic. I think the biggest crowd we've performed in front of was in Australia. There was R&B Live, and I think we played about 88,000 people. And
how many?
It's 88,000 people.
88,000 people? Yeah, that's big. That's big.
So
that's a sea of people.
It's just like it never ends. You're like looking out into the crowd, and it just like never ends. And that
how long is that flight?
About 20 something hours, about 22 hours. It's crazy. Because you go to sleep, you wake up,
and you're
still in the air. You watch a movie, you look out the window, you're still in the air. You watch another movie, eat lunch, fall asleep, wake up, you still ain't there. It's crazy. It's crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Crazy. That's
but
a
worth
lot.
it. But worth it.
Worth it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looked absolutely gorgeous.
Australia is an amazing place to visit, if you have the opportunity to visit once this pandemic clear up and we can get back to living and being normal again. That's a place you must visit. You know what I mean? You must visit Australia. It's
Culturally,
beautiful.
was it like over there? I know they have like the Aborigines and such. Like, did you have a chance to experience anything culturally over there?
Um, I mean, it's like you said, it's a mixture of so many different nationalities and styles and
Mm-hmm.
food and everything. What I love is how nice they are over there. They're
Mm-hmm.
just it's an energy like New Zealand. It's just an energy that exists. They're so open. They're so
Mm-hmm.
welcoming, to you. Where it's like we were going through the airports and didn't have to do certain things like for security. And we're like, really? And they're like, yeah, just go ahead. I was like, oh, like we could never do that
Wow.
in the States, but cool. And it's just like a
No,
sense of freedom and a
no.
sense of trust, and guards down that they have. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
cool, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I have just maybe a couple more questions for you. I don't want to
No,
take
we
up too
good.
much more of your time. You have been
We good.
absolutely amazing, though. I tell you, you are just one of the most humble, down to earth people in
Thank
the
you
industry
so
that
much.
I've ever met.
Thank you.
Seriously. That's
Thank
why
you.
you continue to be a star. You have real star power, seriously.
Thank you so much.
Um, Now, artists, how do you go about looking? Do you ever look for artists that you want to work with, or what strikes you? Like, if you see an artist you want to work with, like, what is it about them that strikes you, and how do you go about working with them for people that are aspiring?
Right. I think to me, what gets my attention immediately is the love and the passion. And that's something that you can see immediately. Like if an artist is on stage and they're getting ready to perform, or about to perform, or started performing, you can notice and feel immediately like, yo, they do this. Like, and it's
Mhm.
not even so much from a talent thing or a talent sense. It's more of like, yo, they really love this. They really do this. They really eat, sleep, drink, and dream this. And this is what they reality. What this is what they what they want to do in life. And you can just feel that. You
Mhm.
can just sense that. So that's one of the things I look for. Second, authenticity, man.
Mhm.
So many creatives are trying to be other people, and it's like, why? Like
Yeah.
your superpower is the fact that no one else is you. So why would you want to be someone else? Like, why not just give us the authentic you? Share the authentic you
Right.
with the entire world. Like, this is what we need. This is how stars are made and born when people just be themselves. Whether, the world hates it or love it, it's just like, well, you got to respect it because he or she is being themselves. So that's
That's
another
right.
thing that I
That's
look for. Third, I think, it's about shooting in the gym. It's about being prepared and really working towards developing your craft, meaning rehearsal and putting a really dope show together, and when you get
Mhm.
on that stage, I know like, yo, he or she really put some time in, put weeks in, put hours in preparing for that performance
Mhm.
versus just getting up on there and just yelling, across the microphone or running up
Right.
and down the
Right.
stage. Like, okay, anybody can do that.
I'm gonna ask you. I just thought about a question I was gonna ask you, and I was like, no, that wouldn't be nice. I'll
No,
tell you what
go,
it is,
go,
but you don't
go,
have to
go,
answer it.
go. No, go.
I was gonna say, what is the absolute worst experience that you've had when somebody was auditioning, let's say, or wanting to work with you, and you were just like, nah, never in a million years, this is not gonna happen. But never mind, you don't have to answer that though. I don't.
No, I will. I mean, I get all type of stuff, man. I get all, what grinds my gears is
Okay.
when people tell me, yo, they the next this or they the next that.
When they tell you what?
I When they tell me they're the next this or they're the
Oh,
next that. I'm the biggest, I'm the next J. Cole. I'm like, Hove ain't got nothing on me, or like what? It's like, because when you tell me that, you it forces me to really set the standards really high,
mm,
and
hmm,
9 times out of 10 you're not going to meet that standard because of you setting it so high. Like you comparing yourself to Jay, or you're the next this, or you're the hottest
right.
person in New York City, or the hottest person in Miami, and all of that type of stuff. mind you, you go to your page because nowadays, like you said earlier, streaming and the numbers this is where we are in the world today, where people look towards those things and decide on whether you're dope based off of the type of support that you have. So
Yep.
it's like people have 20 followers, and like 2.5 views on YouTube trying to tell me, they the hottest in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the other thing that grinds my gears, since
Well,
you got me started now. You got me started now.
What happened?
I said you got me started now. The other thing that grinds my gear is when people be like, yo, let's work. Yo, let's work. And it's like, first off, respectfully, like, do you know who I am and like my resume so that you know what you're dealing with here and who you're dealing with here so that you can approach the situation accordingly from a business sense. Like,
Right.
and I'll work with anybody, and I'm not, the a-hole that's going to charge an up-and-coming artist from New Hampshire, what I would charge a Chris Brown or a Trey Songz, because it's two different situations. Chris and Trey have the backing of a major label. They have a bank behind them. You know what I'm saying? You as a major artist, you may work at Walmart, but still trying to pursue your dreams. And I'm down with that. But at the end of the day, you got to come to me correct, and you got to come with the business mind and come and be transparent. Yo, I only got a stack, Amadeus. No disrespect. You down? Honestly? Yeah, let's work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like because I know what it is to want to work and want to do things and want to accomplish things and not have no support or people not willing to work with you because you may not have as much as someone else may have. I don't operate like that. So when you be respectful, you handle your business, you be a man or woman of their word, and you come to me properly, man, we'll figure it out. We'll work it out. We'll make it happen. And I don't have no A, B, and C, D, E, F, G beats. Everybody get the same level beats. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's my brand and it's my name that I'm putting out there. So I'm not gonna give you something whack and attach my name to it. Nah, you're gonna get the same heat Chris Brown or Trey Songz would get.
Right.
What up, sis? My sister's on here. What up, sis?
Oh, hey.
The family is out tonight. The family is out.
I see that. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey.
Thank you for the support. Now, one thing, it's funny because you're such an innovator. You're such an original, you're who you are. So I would think that somebody that says, oh, I'm the next J. Cole, I'm the next person, I'm the next this, I'm the next that, they're setting themselves up for failure with you in particular because that's not who you are. You're not trying to be anybody's next anything. Out the gate, you've always been this innovative artist, so you, I would think, would expect other artists that you're going to work with to have that same frame of mind. It's like, you know what I mean? You got to be on the same wavelength, in order to make it work.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, oh my gosh, this is like, yes, he does. He does the best interviews.
Man, I don't know about the best, man. I don't know about the best, but I'm doing it right over here.
So what can we expect? What can we expect as far as some new material from you? What you got in the works? Come on, I want to hear. I want to know.
I'm working. I'm back. The king is back. Listen, man, 2020 tried to take me out. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? But 2021 is here. I'm feeling great. I'm in great spirits. Most importantly, physically, mentally, spiritually, inside within me. I'm in great spirits. And I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm at peace, and I'm back. I'm back to normal. I'm back to that creative person. I'm back to the love and the positive energy and the great vibes for everyone. I'm back to the hustle and bustle. So got some records in the works. Jordan Sparks, Lloyd. T.I., who else am I missing? My sister Pearls. We're working on my sister's music. Pearls is coming. A lot of teaching, a lot of educating, partnering up with different schools and different organizations. PS55, Windows of Hip Hop. I'm actually speaking at NYU next week. Next week. So, just giving them gems and being a blessing and inspiring people to go after their dreams, like how I'm doing, like how you're doing, so, we doing what it do. I'm back, man. I'm back
Yeah.
full swing. Full swing. And
Well,
shout out to you. I wore this shirt.
shout out to you.
I wore this shirt for the queens of the world. You know what I mean? I wore this shirt for
Oh,
to represent the
beautiful.
queens of the world. This is Angela Davis. You know
Yes.
the amazing work that she's done. Shout out to my brother Heritage. Shout out to the Queen Goddess, who created this amazing masterpiece. I know I was coming on here with you, Queen, and I wanted to represent right for all of the
Love
beautiful
it.
Black queens and all kind of
Yes.
queens. Don't matter what y'all, Black, Asian, Hispanic,
Hispanic.
Italian,
Yep.
white,
Yep.
Australian.
Absolutely.
We all one. We love every single one of y'all, and I just wanted to wear this to celebrate all of the queens,
I
of the
see you.
world, man.
See you. Well, thank you so much. I can't tell you how grateful I am. Like I said, little old me over here, that
Nah, you
you
working. I'm
jumped
proud
in
of you.
and talk to me, and I am obviously not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. I knew you were going to be a great interview because you have a light, and I see you shining out there.
Thank
Still
you.
shining.
Thank you. And
Keep
I
it moving.
appreciate
I
you
can't wait
having
to
me.
hear this new music. All right.
Oh man.
So is there anything
Oh,
else
man.
that you want to say?
I want to thank you for having me, on the Bigger Picture platform. For those that are tuned in, I reached out to this queen because I saw her doing
I know.
amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, can I be down? Can I be down? You know what I'm saying? So
Get out of here.
so salute to you, salute to your amazing platform, salute to Ben,
Bless.
and everything that you guys are doing at the
Yes.
magazine. Hopefully we could do something, and we could do something via print, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
Know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
I like
You
the
do it.
magazines. I like the magazines, But thank you for having me. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Sending love
Yes,
and
thank
positive
you,
energy
everyone.
to everybody. It's been some tough times that we've been living through. But if you're still here, count your blessings. Celebrate your loved ones, love on your loved ones, and just go after whatever it is that you want in life. Time doesn't wait
Yes.
for anyone. Life doesn't wait for anyone. So it's about getting to it, and it's about getting to it right now. So hopefully this conversation was inspiring and encouraging and a blessing to you.
Yes.
And again, Queen, thank you again for having me. This was definitely a dope interview, dope conversation,
Yes.
just like I knew it would be as well, because I've seen your work nonstop. And blessings to everybody, man. Happy Friday. Hey, yo, you saw that
Yes.
video? My little Jim, my
Loved
little
it.
Ace Ventura joint, you know what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that you literally, I was laughing out loud, literally.
Yeah. I found that video on my phone and I was like, yo, it's Friday. It's been a long week for everybody on here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the world. Why not me just post something that can, possibly put a smile on everybody's faces and just kind of give a moment of, yo, this guy's wild. You know what I mean? And that was the exact goal. That was the exact vision. And I'm glad it worked on you and everybody else that enjoyed it, man. So much love to everybody.
Yes, much love to you too. And yes, thank you everyone for tuning into the Bigger Picture. And we will be back. And stay up, stay focused, stay blessed. And we'll see you next time. All right.
Out.
One.
She is
Much love.
Black Dove Blue Song. She finds herself flying alone. She is but a strange bird wanting to belong. She is Black Dove Blue Song. But all she finds are dead end places.